Yeah, keep it simple. Drop a rock into the water, watch it ripple. Tides turn quick, just keep your head on a swivel. Competition getting stiff, I'm here to make you wiggle. You know me, surround your whole town, make you yell siege. All-star, homie, this the king's speech. You can lock it down, we gon' still preach. Boy, preach. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Boy, you already know I'm the real wonder. Boy, I bring the storm, you gonna feel thunder. So your body count is up there with killmongers. How about you come take a look at some real numbers? Might just double up on you while I still slumber. I'm the living proof, I'm just coming through for the thrill of it. Room full of all-stars, we all guys. Somebody gotta be Zeus, I'll take charge. Fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Positive, negative, I'll take charge and shake eyes, remain great while I pay homage. They always said that pressure can make diamonds, so keep climbing all the way up, that's where you'll find me. Right next to the legends, I go off my brethren, said goodbye to the old me. I'ma make sure that you know me. After this here, you gon' owe me. Didn't choose a game, it chose me. You know what G-O means to an OG, let's go. Fight, who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Yeah, get your back off the wall. Come on, yeah, come one, yeah, come on. Get up, yeah, get your back off the wall. Come on, yeah, come one, yeah, come on.
Welcome everybody for Series 2 of Sunday Night VCS here at VCS English. We have EVS taking on Team Secret. And after the explosive results of Series 1, how do we feel about this one, Yulwei?
Well, this one is a very strange one, right? So both teams lost. Both teams are supposed to be top 4 teams, so we didn't think they would lose. EVS, of course, had a very, very hard challenge ahead of them. They had to face 𝗀𝗄𝗏, and it was quite close, so I feel like we can cut them some slack. Team Secret on the other side. Oof. That one didn't look great. They actually looked very, very bad. They were super uncoordinated, and the most glaring thing for them was their inability to read what their team compositions were supposed to do. They were guilty of overcommitting to fights with a not disengaged composition. They had 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗵, I think, 𝗬𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗁 or something. So very, very strong backline, and they just tried to hard engage all the time and lost the game. So yeah, Team Secret looked rough, very rough. I hope they can show us something more, but I'm worried. Some of the players also individually didn't look too great.
Yeah, overall, I think both teams underperformed in their last matches. Definitely underperformed. There's no question that they did. We expect both of these teams to be in the upper echelon, particularly EVS. I think both of us have them winning the split.
Yes.
And they didn't look like split winners yesterday. Or, yeah, it was yesterday that they played. They looked pretty bad, honestly, against 𝗀𝗏𝗏. Not that losing to 𝗀𝗏𝗏 isn't the worst thing ever, but the manner in which it happened was pretty bad. So
it was a very strange series, right? The first game, ultra stomp for 𝗀𝗏𝗏. Second game, in at least as hard a stomp for EVS. So it was they definitely showed some potential, especially in the early game. They made some stuff work. On the third game, not quite there yet, but I feel like this start is to be expected. It's a new team. One worrying sign I want to talk about is 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. I feel like 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 was a little too bad yesterday compared to expectations.
Yeah, he got absolutely stepped on. He got owned. There's no other way to put on it. He got wrecked up in the top lane, and that can't keep happening.
Yeah,
it just can't.
I agree.
So what do we need? What needs to happen today for him to get up? Of course, he is against Team Secret, against 𝗧𝗲𝗎𝗄𝗏. They don't have a hugely scary top lane, but still, we expect 𝗧𝗏 to be stomping top laners. 𝗧𝗲𝗎 at the moment could potentially go okay against him.
Yeah. I mean, 𝗧𝗲𝗎 also himself had a very bad performance, right? You rightfully flamed him on cast yesterday over and over again for his 𝗬𝗏, where he just missed everything and was utterly useless, which is honestly almost an achievement in its own, to be useless on 𝗬𝗏. So
they picked the Trundle.
It's a fair point.
Champion that will stop you.
That is a very fair point. But yeah, I still feel like 𝗬𝗏 should definitely have the upper hand here. This is a good redemption for all of EVS and should be an easy way into a serious victory. I would be very worried if they lose today. I predicted a 2-0 for EVS, and I am pretty confident here. I changed my predictions for the last day to 2 2-0s. I feel like we have a short day of games today because the form that was shown for all the teams differed greatly. And Team Secret, I would actually say after week 1 is the weakest team in our whole league. They looked so bad in the first showing. So of course today is another day, another chance to redeem themselves, and we know some of the players can be very good. Artifact even received 1 MVP point. So
on screen we do see our predictions. Yulwei was smart enough to tell our producer that he changed his predictions. So he got the demo. I think I also predicted that, to be fair. I forgot to tell our producer. And
I just checked, you predicted a 2-1. So at least you got the points for Cerberus correctly.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, we've all got EVS winning this one. I don't think either of us actually needed to change that after we saw things. EVS looked weak, but Team Secret looked so much weaker. There's something going wrong there. I don't really I don't know where the path to victory for Team Secret would be.
Yeah, and Secret upgraded their roster mostly, right? Most people would argue top lane was a little bit of an issue. I'd say I'd actually rank 𝗬𝗎 above 𝗧𝗂𝗎. But fair enough, that's Team Secret has more information than I do, right? They know scrims, they've tested both. So if they come to the conclusion that 𝗧𝗂𝗎 is the best possible top laner for them, fair enough. He is a solid player. But more importantly, they upgraded support position. And they upgraded from Venus, who was all around solid player, but nothing outstanding, to, in my opinion, the best support player in the league, CBL. And the first showing for CBL didn't go too well, but to be fair, I think we have to give them some time to gel. But this support matchup is something we definitely can look at, because the first series for B, even though they lost, was very impressive. He played 𝗏𝗏𝗺, and he landed every single hook. It was heat-seeking. It was absolutely incredible. And he got double MVP from us, so I believe B now has the chance to maybe even get it to be the best support in the league. 𝗏𝗏𝗺 is slacking. CBL doesn't look really in form right now, so it's B's time to shine finally.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also quite funny because B had the ridiculous performance on 𝗏𝗏𝗺, while the entire last split, every game, CBL drew 𝗏𝗏𝗺 bans. They never let CBL play 𝗏𝗏𝗺, and now does CBL's team have to ban it out because B was so good on it? The hook champions are super, super volatile, and it's really hard to call how this bot lane goes. Honestly, again, it's just that you have to give a bit of an edge to EVOS, I think, based on what we've seen. But
yeah,
I don't think Secret has no chance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Secret, if they play like they did in the first showing, they have no chance, in my opinion, because there were too many glaring mistakes. There was too much misreading of team compositions, but it's very unlikely that that is their actual level. I feel like there was also a very bad day. They might be in bad form right now, but that also was a particularly bad day. So I feel like Team Secret should look a little bit stronger. But still, there are different kinds of bad performances, right? You can have a day where mechanically everything goes wrong, and then at the end you can say, okay, it's just a bad day. Players will step up next time. It's not that bad. But the kind of performance Team Secret showed actually puts a lot of doubt in my mind for them and their performance and trajectory for the split, because they showed some of the hardest to fix mistakes, in my opinion, team synergy issues, and understanding of the game on a very broad level, on a very team composition based level. And that's really a worrying sign.
Yeah, it's a very worrying sign. Overall, I think the VCS, we lauded this as going to be an incredibly competitive split. Week 1 has scared me a little bit, because maybe it's competitive because anyone can beat anyone. But I wanted it to be because all the teams were good. I'd like this series to be two teams that underperformed, firing back. And you've got to give the edge to EVOS, but I want Team Secret to play it close. At least do the right things, even if you end up losing to EVOS. Because losing to EVOS this split, it's really not that big a mark against you. As long as you play correctly. Please.
So I feel like maybe after the series, if you have some time, we can recap the first week as a whole. But I'm actually more positive, maybe, because even though we had a lot of upsets, the overall level that was shown from some of the newer teams especially surprised me. And especially Cerberus, I'm now a really big believer in Cerberus. Percent surprised me big time. They only played one series, so you have to take it with a grain of salt, of course. But that one series looked incredible. So I actually think maybe the top teams are all a little bit weaker right now compared to the end of spring. But the rest of the league is so much stronger that we might still have a very, very competitive and good league. And once the top teams get back into form and the worst teams or projected worst teams actually stay in their form, then we have 8 competitive teams playing against each other. And that is the perfect iteration of a league, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the ideal. Hopefully that is what we get. It's of course also worth noting that Celebrity had a really bad performance. Unfortunately, that kind of is a bit of a repeating factor whenever we talk about a Team Secret member. But he's someone that has high highs. Can he get back into it this series?
Yeah, hopefully he can. I've stated this before off broadcast. I'm a big fan of DNK in the trailer. I hope he can live up to his very cool new hair and also his very good performance in the trailer. In game, because the first series not too impressive from his side either.
Mm-hmm.
This matchup between EVS and Secret is actually a very close one over the course of all of the history of the VCS. 13-11 right now in terms of game score. EVS slightly in the lead, but it's very competitive also if you look at Series 1. So this one historically has always been close. Right now it should favor EVS, but who really knows?
Yeah, it's tricky as I'm not 100% sure if I think we were going to cut to a trailer, but the Champ Select should be starting soon, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on. We'll find out. Champ Select should be coming up. What else can we
players
talk?
are on stage right now. We have there we go. Champion
there we
Select.
go, Champ Select.
Right, as we were talking about it. And this is the last series of the week. It's two losers facing off against each other, but both teams are aiming for very high highs. They both want to go to Worlds. So let's see what they can bring today.
We'll have to find out, and it is coated in as well. 𝗧𝗂𝗍𝗃 is taking a break. Apparently those two are still sharing time. See if that brings anything more to this roster. Renekton and Italy are the two bans we've seen so far. Syndra removed as well. What other champions?
A lot of ADCs still open. 𝗲𝗺 didn't see any kind of priority in the first series. Let's see if that is the case here too. I would say 𝗲𝗺 could be a very good champ for the side of Secret with Celebrity, who is a very good caster ADC. Maybe not quite as good on auto attack based champs, so maybe leave open the 𝗲𝗺 and gamble on the fact that you will actually get it. Blitzcrank against CBL when B had a very good performance on Blitzcrank as well is a little bit of a surprise to me, and we're leaving open all the ADCs. So that is nope, never mind. 𝗲𝗺 is banned in the end. Still,
yeah, that makes
sense.
The 𝗲𝗺 ban makes sense, even though it wasn't in the first series. We're returning a little bit to normality in this one.
There should be the first pick here.
That's Jace.
Normally.
Covered. That would be weird, picking up first pick Jace with so many OPs available.
Instead, we are still believing in Aphelios. And I think Aphelios is one of those champs where Divkid is better than Slater. I know a lot of people think Slater is way better than Divkid, but on Aphelios specifically, I feel like Divkid has shown us a little bit more, and he has adopted this playstyle and also playing this champion very early on in Spring Split and is one of the most experienced players. If I remember correctly, it's even his top 5 played champs already, even though the champ has only been released since November. So he definitely is one of the big proponents of this champion.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely loves it. To see if he can perform on it. Of course, it's sometimes a little bit spotty.
Oh
Yeah. And there it is. Your boy's in. It's Graves.
It's not only Graves, it's also early Graves.
Oh boy, you gotta love it. Early draft Graves. Yulwei is a happy boy. We saw before in our little fun cameras that you had a little sign. Graves is the best champion. That's what it said, right?
Absolutely.
Oh dear. Oh dear,
well,
oh dear.
So far, EVS has picked melee champion to Graves, so maybe a good start for the side of Secret. But of course, Set is very versatile, can still go in many different positions, most likely top, support, or never mind jungle. So top or support here.
Okay.
It's likely to be support, because I feel like Lulu into Thresh is always a little bit of a dicey one, so you want to go with a tanky support, and it's CBL's Thresh we are talking about, so a very scary prospect to lane against that. Also B, very strong tank player. I'm excited to see him on set, because usually he's on Braum duty and just chilling all game.
Yep. As Ezreal will be secured for Team Secret. Smart to pick an ADC before the second ban phase. Will Yuumi... Oh, no, of course. That's not... Yuumi's not relevant. Thresh is already picked. Ignore me. My mistake. But the Thresh pick was smart on a whole bunch of reasons. CBL is very good on Thresh. Thresh is a good champion. And it denies Aphelios Thresh. What I wanted to ask is, what do you think of this Elise pick? A champion we don't see much of at all anymore. As we all know, Elise is the most hated and ugliest champion in the game.
Be careful, our broadcast might be shut down if you continue to talk like this. It's interesting because we've seen some Elise secondary bans in the last 2 days. Renekton is banned, so I'm very excited to see what EVOS has in store for us in top lane. What could be paired with Elise? A strong AD top laner with a little bit of CC setup would work wonders. I'm thinking of things like Wukong, maybe even Camille, a very strong Zeros champ as well. So I feel like this draft is catered towards Zeros carry-us plays. By the way, we haven't touched on the opponent of Zeros this game. It's actually Qiao.
Yeah,
so a little bit more laning power.
I did mention that.
I missed that, sorry.
It's alright. Yep, he is in over Zika, and Irelia and Jace taken away. Some of those carry potential champions gone, and Twisted Fate and Zoe removed from Artifact pool. What will he go to?
Banning Irelia over Wukong and Camille strikes me as very weird. I feel like both champs are better. And now this opens up the possibility to counterpick the Wukong. You don't really want to go the AP route, because you already have AP jungle. So the one AD champ that there are two AD champs that counter Wukong big time. One is Volibear. Not sure if they want to go Volibear this early on. Okay, this one is boring. And the other one, of course, is the Hecarim. We've seen some Hecarim here and there. Hecarim has been
Pantheon Azir.
Pantheon top lane. Okay, fair enough. I have no idea about this matchup, I have to say. But that is a very early game composition.
Yeah, this is very, very early game. It feels like it's probably a fairly even top lane. You don't get the counter to Wukong, but I don't feel like it's... I don't think it's a counter either way. I think it's just a fairly even matchup. And Karma is the last pick. We have the enabling mid laner. What do you think of these compositions? Who has gotten the better end of the deal, and what do these teams want to be doing?
So hard to assess. Give me Kindred instead of Graves, and I favor Secret's composition. Well, there's a lot of sin on the side of EVOS' top side, but I believe I kind of like it, because Son and EVOS as Zeros are very active players, so they might be able to jump off to a great lead and then transition that over to their late game carries in Parquet and Divkit onto very strong late game carry champs. So I feel I can see what Violet has built here. The team composition is not the most cohesive one. You don't have a big front line for your very strong backline carries, so you have to fight in very strange ways where you can't really go front to back. Instead, you have to come from sides and try to let the enemy team run at you. But I still can see why they wanted to go this, and I feel like if EVOS is to win, it's going to be through top lane with a lot of explosive fights. On the other side, though, strong team fighting. Grace supported by Karma in the mid lane is something I like to see a lot. As I said before, I favor Kindred Karma, but Grace Karma is a little stronger in the early game. Loses a little bit of carry potential. They might run low on damage, especially if Wukong is set behind. So we need to see a strong mid-jungle performance, and DNK needs to heavily outfarm Elise here and get off to a head start to protect his top laner as well.
Very true. But of course, it is a very good dive setup up in the top lane. Wukong needs to be very scared. It's not quite Renekton and Elise, but Pantheon is almost better in the dive. Of course, the reset, the repel, and the E from Pantheon means that tower is not doing much. It's just a bit of poke. It's all right.
Okay. The picture was moving very fast for me. Okay, the 𝗀𝗏 is in a little bit of a weird situation.
That is, in comes Coded. 𝗀𝗏 taking a lot of damage. They're trying to block. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 flashes. The hook has to be flashed as well. Look at all the summoners being burned. And Team
𝗧𝗏𝗺's
Secret is
dead.
charging forward. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 is absolutely dead. And that is first blood for Graves.
There we go. Graves off to a great start once again. Can he finally do something with a great start? Because we've seen some Graves first bloods and they didn't amount to much. But
this was a lot of flashes. That's more important than the
absolutely. But on both sides. So it's not like only one side tried to flash away. In fact, actually TS invested more flashes. So a little bit vulnerable maybe in the mid section, especially because mid and jungle both flashed. We have not the greatest kill setup before level 6 hits for mid lane, so it might just be fine for 𝗂𝗎 and Graves as well. 𝗬𝗲𝗺 without a flash shouldn't be too big of a worry. I feel like 𝗀𝗏 is going to path around top side, as we can see with his early pathing already. So bot lane is not under too big of a threat, as we have a small peek back at this one here. Very good collapse from Coated from the side. They didn't think Coated would be there, and 𝗬𝗲𝗺 is also available to chase. 𝗬𝗲𝗺 with a very good hook. It would have hit, but 𝗀𝗏 flashes away, forced to flash, and now 𝗧𝗏𝗺 is the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, it's not really on 𝗧𝗏𝗺 here that he died. That was basically his jungler inting away the life of his mid laner. A little bit too overzealous, a little bit too over-aggressive, the posturing there, and didn't really achieve much. Like, even if you get, like, a few more seconds in the face of the enemy, you don't really achieve much, so it's just cockiness, maybe a little bit of hubris there for 𝗃𝗏𝗺's mid-jungle duo.
Yeah, it just feels like 𝗀𝗏𝗺 overstayed in that brush just to get a red ward down. It's not worth it. Once you've shown that the mid lane is rotating over, you have to make the call that they're not happy with it. But there might be a potential setup for a dive here, or at least just enough pressure from 𝗀𝗏
Big
so
minion wave.
Can't farm this wave.
That's the deck up.
Yep, 𝗧𝗏 has the passive ready. They're going for it. This is already a bit weird here. 𝗧𝗏 is really low, has to E and flash, and Coded takes about 100 damage. That was badly done.
Yeah, absolutely. And they took too long. So the minion wave for Coded arrived, and at that point, Elise is basically useless because she can't threaten the needle through the minion wave. So there was no way for her to land the stun, and then it's basically just 𝗃𝗏𝗺's diving under turret at level 3, which is probably not the best thing to do against Wukong and full HP. So yeah, very bad execution for that one. They waited too long, and then once they waited too long, they should have called off the play instead of still going through with it. That is something we saw for EVOS yesterday as well. Over reluctance to call off plays. They were very keen on still going through their calls. So they have to cut their losses here and there and say, okay, we invested a lot of time, but it's still a bad play, so let's not go for it. Instead, once again, they force a bad play, and 𝗃𝗏𝗺 loses his flash.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Just excuse me for one moment. I've just got something I need to run into another room to do, but there's nothing happening, so do some color for a minute. Sorry.
Yes, no problem. Let's color the rift in some very, very bright colors. So far, nothing has happened, really, for Team Secret. It's a better start than in any of the other games. Well, they had one advantage, but then threw it away in mid-game. DNK, on the Graves, he's already off to a 12 CS lead. I said early on, he needs to go off to a great advantage over 𝗀𝗏𝗺. Will he hit level 5 of this camp? Yes, he does. So already a level advantage accrued for his side as well. The Graves and 𝗂𝗏𝗺 will be a very strong skirmish duo in the minutes to come. And instead, we just have a play on the bot lane. 𝗃𝗀𝗄 too deep under turret, has to flash out. Heal as well invested. And now B will probably die for the sins of his ADC. Poor B. Giving over the kill to 𝗃𝗍𝗺. So early on, very nice kill. Another one for Team Secret, and another one basically not from the proactiveness from Team Secret, but just a little bit of a mistake for 𝗃𝗀𝗄.
What happened in the bot lane?
Well, 𝗃𝗀𝗄 overstayed and took turret aggro, and then the jungler came, so 𝗃𝗀𝗄 had to flash away, and B died for the sins of his ADC.
The eternal burden of a support.
Yes.
You hate it. You have to hate it.
Yeah, look at 𝗧𝗲𝗺. He's just too far forward. Flashes out, heals, and then B had to go forward to E the enemies and slow them down, but he paid with his life for that one, which, well, you could argue just let your ADC die and not use flash and heal. I actually think you should. Never mind. 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗻𝗻 might just get a double kill.
Yep, Coded may well turn this one around. He gets one. Can he get 𝗀𝗏? 𝗀𝗏 goes up into the rappel to reset the tower and gets away. But Team Secret is coming out better in all of these plays. EVOS is fumbling over and over and over.
What is going on with EVOS? So many misexecuted mechanics, and just not only mechanics, but also just states of minion states, level. They're not paying attention to levels, to potential turnarounds. Just because you're 2, you can't just fight into level 6 Wukong. He's so hard to lock down. He has so much counter damage and mobility. It's very hard to kill him. So another big mistake, and now they are looking at a 1k gold deficit at 7 minutes already. Not the start EVOS hoped for. Let's take a look. He's level 5 now, but he's level 6. Okay, that's to be fair to 𝗧𝗲, that was quite unfortunate because 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗻 hit level 6 when he was stealthed, so he didn't know that once he came out of stealth, 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗻 would have his ultimate available. To be fair, also on the other side, he forward into a minion wave for 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗻, so that's never the thing you want to do. But a little bit unfortunate there for sure for the side of 𝗧𝗲, and now he's in a lot of danger.
Hey, it's just coming straight in, and kaboom! The big shell comes out and takes down 𝗧𝗏 0-2-0 on the Pantheon. 𝗧𝗏 looking washed up.
harsh.
No, it's a big call, but he's looking at the moment. Prove me wrong. 𝗧𝗏's
it's true.
Wrong.
It's only the first week, but I have to give it to you. He's not looking like his former self. When he dominated the league last summer and no one could stand up to him, that was a very different story. Now he's 0-2 in a matchup that he counter-picked, that he picked to win the lane, to dominate the top side of the map with his jungler. Everything was set up for him. They fumbled 2 attempts, and then he dies twice to the enemy top laner. So already in a very bad position. We're already in a state of the game where he was basically saying, scrap all our plans, we're just scaling, we're just waiting for 200 years to hit, and maybe then we can win the game. Because all their early advantages, all their early play potential is gone now, and they have to basically just catch waves and wait a little bit to see what they can do.
They do.
Never mind.
𝗧𝗏's ult is used. He comes down and gets nothing done. It's not working here for EVOS, is it? It's just not working out at all.
He got a little bit done. He denied a lot of experience and creeps from the enemy bot lane, so that is always valuable. They will lose 2 whole waves and a few platings. So definitely got a little bit there for his investment. And to be honest, Pantheon is not really looking at carrying the game anymore, so it's not that bad to lose a little bit of gold on the top side. Feel like this play was okay. Of course, he hoped for more there. He hoped for a kill or 2. But this is at least to accelerate his... he is acknowledging who's going to carry this game if they are going to win, so that's good to see.
Very true. And I hate to do it to you again, but my Google Chrome is crashing. Not the best situation here. So I am still here, but I can't say anything. So you might just need to carry the cast again. I'm sorry to make you do it, but I'll fix it as fast as I can.
Team Secret just executed a Herald very early on the top side. 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗻 got the turret super low because, as I talked about in the last game, Wukong is one of the fastest turret pushes, especially early on in the game. I think late game he's overtaken by someone like Camille, but early on in the game he's very, very fast, and he took the turret down to 2 plates. It's a very easy execution on the Rift Herald, and now Team Secret is looking at a 3k gold lead at 10 minutes, 4-0 up in kills. It's even more than 3k now. Top lane is on 1 item already. There's a Black Cleaver completed for 𝗘𝗀𝗻𝗻, just as rated Dirk. So it's looking dire for the side of EVOS, and now we should shift our focus to Team Secret and see if they can finally make it work, can finally play their lead out to an actual game victory. Yes, everybody seems to be... Are you back? Hello? I think he's still gone, so let's see what is going on here. Pink ward for the second Dragon, Team Secret in very good position to get this one 2 levels ahead for... Oh, only 1 level, sorry, for DNK. So 𝗀𝗏 has to just run away, collect a little bit more farm. He's already 30 CS down, so everything going Graves' way this time around. Even though he was early picked, and that's something I absolutely hate, this Graves got going super early on and enabled from his team, and now he's 2-0-1. Probably one of the strongest threats in the game. He and together with his top lane Wukong, probably right now the strongest champs on the map. As Team Secret is continuing to grow their lead, very nice time investment. Celebrity and CBL took a little bit too long to push the wave in now, so now it might be a 4v4 in the bot lane here. 3 people for EVOS are
Hello,
there.
am I back? Hi.
Yes,
You hear
I
me?
can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, good. Everything froze. It all froze.
Welcome
I'm
back.
so sorry.
Welcome back.
What have I missed?
Everything went Team Secret's way. They got the top turret, they got a lot of platings, they got a dragon, and if you look at the gold lead, it's big. So yeah,
it is very big. What is going on? Why can't we predict anything?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's still not over, and Team Secret has looked very bad in late game. So let's wait and see if they can actually close this game, because the early game is very promising. But to close out this game, they have to play pretty aggressively. They have a lot of engaged, but not the biggest amount of frontline and tankiness. So can be risky to dive turrets into Azir, into Aphelios, and of course Set as well. So they still have to. They still have to work a little bit more to actually lock in the first game victory.
True, but we did have the issue where you mentioned that Team Secret could potentially run low on damage. I think that has been well and truly nullified. Coded is 1-0-2. Already has his Black Cleaver, can help his Graves. Got to give DNK a little bit of a whack on the head, going the double Black Cleaver. Could go lethality this game, mate. He can do it.
He absolutely could, especially also looking at the enemy team composition. No big tank. It's actually very nice for Graves to go lethality. Lethality items are a little bit cheaper too. They give you stronger early power spike. So a lot of vision control, of course, if you go for the vision option there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. A little bit of a loss to the shopkeeper once again. We've seen too many of those. Analysts of the VCS, please step up your game. Tell your players about item synergies and anti-synergies. But the early item just for Graves, as you don't look at other champs, is of course still nice to have. 20% cooldown reduction, more beefiness with the early HP, a little bit more AD as well. So still a nice item to have, but I definitely agree. He should have gone for lethality here.
Absolutely. Again, it's not a straight int to the shopkeeper. It's just not the best. Parquet's a little bit caught here, but Team Secret don't want to pull the trigger as, they might have baited themselves a little bit as Artifact has been blown up, but a teleport comes in. It's a 1-for-1. Will the Cyclone get enough done? No, it'll just be that 1-for-1. An explosive passage of play.
Another thing you sadly missed when you were gone, there was a flash blown in the first attempt for Artifact. That happened when Parky went for the first Shifting Sands and ultimate combination, the Shurima Shuffle, of course. And that's why this time around it was very easy for him to lock Artifact in place and throw him into his own team. He paid with his own life, even with flash available though, so in the end it's only 1-for-1. Trades usually favor the team that is behind, so in the end still favorable for EVOS' side, and they finally get the first kill and actually break the perfect game as well. They were under threat of conceding another perfect game in terms of kills.
Yeah, it was only 15 minutes in, though. It wasn't that close, as somebody wants to get this tower. Let's do it before the lantern runs out. Oh, no, doesn't even have to do that. Just gets it and can walk away, farm another wave, and It's all gone wrong for EVOS. Who is still close enough to the power level to actually get them over the line?
Well, they need more time. But I think in the last attempt, in the last play, we saw how EVOS can claw their way back to an even or more even state than now. They have a lot of single target CC. They actually engaged with one of their not so easy to land CCs with this Emperor's Divide, right? But they still have Sawn with Cocoon. They still have Zeros with point and click stun. So I feel like these pick abilities are the things they have to play around to get back into this game. Oh,
this is a bit interesting. Parquet has to flash. There's a Cocoon landing. They're going in. Coded. Can he get a Cyclone off? No, he just disengages. They don't need to take the fight that doesn't quite suit them. They'll just push another
Cyclone
wave
is
into
such
the
a
tower.
strong unspoken ability in team fights, or unused ability. You always have to keep in mind that Cyclone is still available. Cyclone can even hit and knock you up from the clone. So it is so annoying to play against Wukong, especially in early skirmishes.
Drake going down to 1800 health. This is to put them on soul point. It's secured by Team Secret. There is the Cyclone, and EVOS are getting shredded. Donk, 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 donk.
My God.
And all 5 are dead. Triple kill for DNK, playing the greatest jungler in the game, as Graves is getting even more fed. My God, Team Secret heard what we said yesterday, heard what you said in the pregame, and is making us look very, very silly.
That they are, certainly. What a team fight. And once again, very questionable for EVOS to be there in the first place. We talked about the team fight strength of Wukong, and let's just take a look at the massacre that occurred here. 4-5-man Cyclone in the second one, and everyone is able to follow up. Celebrity is full HP, by the way, when the fight ends. The only one under threat was CBL, but he had a stopwatch available, so very nicely done.
On about 20 health.
So even he gets out 5-4-0 ace at 17 minutes. That is almost unheard of. And Evo still had some time to wait for the last dragon, so like once again, a lapse of judgment on their side to contest the third dragon and not the fourth. And the game might just be over. We have seen another big stomp. And now it's on Team Secret to close this out cleanly. They are 7k gold ahead, though, so they don't even have to be that clean. They can actually commit a few mistakes here and there and still win this game. So it's very comfortable.
It is. They still need to close it out. I will be judging how cleanly Team Secret round this one out as Artifact gets Shurima shuffled. He's in a lot of trouble. This should be a fairly easy kill as he's running it through the alcove, but he's just buying time. Sawn takes away the kill, probably the worst person that could have gone on. But it doesn't matter as they do kill the Karma, but it doesn't really matter at all. That one kill, cool.
And now we actually get to see why Graves is prioritized early on in drafts, because this is the position all the Graves dream to be and maybe are in all the scrims, because a lot of kills happen early on where he is super strong. So now he's 6-0-2, is super tanky, has MR, has armor. He can actually stack up a lot of armor with this grid as well. So he's now a tank. He's actually the most tanky member on the whole field, on the whole map, I feel like. And you have a Karma in the backhand as well. So he will just frontline into the enemy carries and try to just force them away and burst them out. So that is the perfect position for Graves to be in. He is not really an ADC. He is more of a very aggressive bruiser champion with a small bit of range.
Yeah, the range is really just so he can't buy Asterix.
Feels bad, man.
Let 𝗀𝗀𝗺 buy Asterix, please. But something to think about, because there is nothing happening quiet at the moment. Does TH play next game? This is 3 very bad performances in a row for Zeros.
Well, TH is also a very volatile player with a very small champion pool, so I'm not sure if that's where you want to go. Sometimes he does.
Sometimes he does,
It's
but
not like
he
hasn't
hasn't.
entered.
He hasn't entered the last 3 games. Like at least
That
he's
is
coming
very
in
fair.
from a neutral. 𝗘𝗩𝗢𝗦, of course, charging down the mid lane, doesn't get the second charge off.
Well, while I definitely agree that 𝗧𝗲𝗺 had very bad games, it's not like he, at least today, he lost in laning phase. It's more like they try to play too much on 𝗧𝗲𝗺 and then overforced.
Saw nearly died from a screen away.
Yeah. I would like to see a bot lane focused draft for EVOS where 𝗧𝗲𝗺 just plays with a very strong laning phase that he always had. He's one of the best laners in the whole league. So I feel like just leave him on an island and force all the attention down bot lane. Sounds counterintuitive with a very strong top lane carry, but can actually work out in your favor as well. If top lane difference in laning phase is big, playing bot side is actually very advantageous for the top lane. And we saw this yesterday. Sorry that I always bring it up again, but you know, I'm a little bit of a G2 fanboy. And yesterday when G2 played, they played Kayle into Ornn in the top lane and didn't touch the top lane at all. Kayle even conceded 1 kill. And he ended up with 50 and 100 CS ahead. But now we have a Baron attempt.
That we do. They're taking it down pretty quickly. This is a Hail Mary. It will be spotted now. True shot barrage.
And the jungler is not here.
The Cyclone has arrived. There it is. It is secured by EVOS. They get the purple buff to get themselves back in the game. They lose 2 kills in exchange, but it is a Baron secured. It gets away on the 2 most important members to have it, actually the 3. So all 3 of the people that are wearing it are very important, but look what it's being traded for. Uncontested Ocean Soul picked up for DNK.
Uncontested is a little bit disingenuous because they started Baron because they knew DNK would go to Ocean Soul.
It was traded. The dragon wasn't contested. It was traded.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. That's fair. That is fair, but it's definitely interesting trade to take. Almost everyone would agree Ocean Soul is better than Baron.
Yes.
But in the position EVOS is in, they made the call to say we can't fight anyway. So it doesn't really make sense for us to contest this objective where we will just lose the game immediately. So let's just get as much gold as we can and also get rid of the Baron so the enemy team has a harder time closing out the game without the big buff. I like this call a lot. I don't think it will actually help them win this game, but it's a little bit of a glimpse of hope and maybe a silver lining for EVOS fans to go back to and say, hey, look, we have a few good decision makers still on our team. Even though a lot of things are not working, the ideas some of our players have are still solid.
It also shows a little bit of resilience. They're not just rolling over. You could have a situation where EVOS just writes this one off and says, yeah, we're done. It's over. GG. Team sucks. I'm mad. And they just give up everything. Instead, they do try and make a play. It's a desperation Baron. They get it. Lose an Ocean Soul for it. Maybe you can sit here and say, like, well, hey, maybe if it had been Cloud Rift, we'd be in a better position. So are we that bad? In the end, you're not on the Cloud Rift, so I don't know how far that goes, but still, signs of life, but I still feel like Secret is going to hit this zombie over the head with a shovel.
It might be too late in this game, but it's still a good sign for the whole season for EVOS, and of course, it's a best of 3, so there's still time to come back and claw their way back into the whole series. They also delay the game, so at least buy 1 or 2 more chances in team fights. And we all know it's 𝗧𝗲𝗺 and 𝗬𝗺𝗺. There are a lot of collective years going into those 2 champs, so
yeah,
you never know. You never know.
Yep, they are both certainly T champions, so you never know. They can pull something off. Never count an 𝗬𝗺𝗺 out, but this is Secret needs to show that they can close it out very safely. I don't think losing the Baron is a big mark against them. It was traded for an Ocean Soul. It was also almost stolen. Like, it was pretty close. So I'm not really going to ride Secret for losing that. I think it was actually a good decision. But they do need to close out. and show that they can do
Yeah.
that very cleanly.
You could maybe argue the vision was a little bit lacking on their side. They were definitely focused on the dragon objective, maybe a little bit too much considering how strong they are. So yeah, that's a little bit of criticism, a little bit of review footage to go over. But in the end, I agree. It's not the biggest loss. They still got the big objective, and Baron will respawn, Ocean Soul will not. So in the end, that's still very nice for their side. When we get to see the items again, I want someone to clip or make a screenshot and send it to Riot, because we can definitely see what item is a little bit broken on the side of Team Secret.
How many Death Dancers do you think there's going to be?
It's 3 already. Let's see if one of the supports also wants to go to Death Dance, just for good measure.
That'd be pretty funny. Death Dance Thresh, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
DNK going forward, gets shuffled, flashes him away immediately, but there's a good follow-up, the showstopper, and he goes down, and kaboom! Artifact goes with him. 2-0 in the favor of EVOS. Team Secret got a little cocky.
Yeah, 2 very bad plays from the side of Team Secret members. They are still not over the line. They have Ocean Soul. There's a lot of healing reduction already, and if they commit these very silly mistakes, there's always a way back. 2 items now built for Aphelios, almost 3 items for the side of 𝗂𝗂𝗧. Still a lot of single targets to see, and an incredible clean team fight for B as well, who got both of the kills, which of course, not the greatest, but he earned them. So more time board for the side of EVOS, 1 minute 30 to the next big objective spawning. And if they can steal that one away too, suddenly there might be a little bit more of just a glimmer of hope.
I'd like to also point out the jungle CS. That's rough. 𝗀𝗲 120 farm down. It's got to be said, we've been very harsh on 𝗧𝗲, perhaps rightly so, but 𝗀𝗲 as well has had a very bad start to the split. He's looked very, very average, which is a shame. He's normally one of our better junglers, maybe not in the absolute top echelon, but still very highly rated. See if he can bounce back in game 2.
You get, the CS advantage in the jungle is cool and definitely something to talk about, but we also have to acknowledge that Elise, of course, does not take any camps anymore after a certain time.
It's true.
But now the Baron is started. They have Ocean Soul, so they will not lose any HP against Baron.
Nope.
This one should be very obvious, though, and it's actually pretty slow so far.
Oh, 𝗀𝗲 gets hooked, though. Takes a lot of damage. Has to use the repel.
Coated on the pink ward.
Yeah, he's not going in yet. In goes B. Baron is low. It's secured by DNK, though. You can't outsmite the Prince of Thieves. And now EVOS is trapped in the pit, and they're getting absolutely minced. 200 years will get 2 kills. A big Infernum ult, but it's not enough. Triple kill for Celebrity. He's charging forward. DNK uses the ultimate just to push himself a little bit closer. They want this last kill. They want to finish the game here. Can they get onto this Aphelios? I think they can. They find him under the tower. They clean him up, and it's a clean ace. Well, it's not clean, but it is an ace for Team Secret, and they're going to push in, and this should be the game. EVOS lose game 1, and a hyped team before the split started will go down 1-0 once again.
And 𝗀𝗲 are here. Can they do anything to prevent this from happening? Baron minions and 3 members, of course. Nope. They're just going to give up 1 more death each. And sub 30-minute victory for Team Secret, who looked revitalized and dominant. Very surprising performance from their side. CBL very happy with this one. So Team Secret suddenly back in form. Who knows? Week 1 is crazy. I have no idea what's going on. But in the end, it's still very early in the split. We expect teams to get in form and maybe be a little bit out of form from time to time too. So disappointing start for EVOS, but you have to remember yesterday they got stomped in game 1 too and came back with an even bigger stomp in game 2. So it's not lights out yet for this team.
That's very true, but we do need to pick an MVP for game 1. What are you feeling? DNK, Coded.
I feel like it's DNK.
Yeah, I think DNK.
Probably.
Yeah.
Grace is never really that flashy. He just does 2 auto attacks and 1 ult, and then yeah, whatever. But yeah, he dealt a lot of damage. He was super tanky, got all the kills early on, outfarmed 𝗀𝗏 heavily. So DNK gets the MVP here.
Okay. DNK will lock that in for MVP, and do stick with us to see if EVOS can bounce back again too, or if Team Secret will fire back after their disappointing Series 1 and take a win on this last series of the first week of the summer split. Don't go anywhere, guys. We've been VCS English, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for Game 2 of EVOS taking on Team Secret. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to VCS English for Game 2 of Team Secret taking on 𝗧𝗧𝗺. It was a one-sided affair in Game 1. Will 𝗧𝗧𝗺 bounce back, or is it all secret all the time? What do you think, Yulwei? Do we have a Game 3?
Oh man, I think I've given up on predicting anything on the fly. It's absolutely impossible. From the looks from the first game, I mean, every sane person would predict Team Secret to win the next one, but who knows? Teams have been trending to change team compositions completely when going to the other side of the rift. So who knows what is going to happen with 𝗧𝗧𝗺 on red side? Yesterday they lost on red side all the time, if I remember correctly. All the blue side teams won. So
yeah,
a little bit of a change. Winning. So a little bit of a change. Not too promising for 𝗧𝗧𝗺. If they fall 0-2 today, oof. I'm not even sure what you say. That is
a bit of a
very
roughy,
worrying
just
start.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What needs to change in this game too, though? What can they actually do to get back
Individual execution. Individual execution.
So it wasn't a team comp issue?
No. I mean, the team comp was a little strange, but it's still, as I said before, I can see how it works. So I feel like team composition is only secondary consideration. The first thing, the most important thing is you have to step up your execution in game. The top lane dives. Think back to the top lane dives. They were so bad. They were so overzealous, and the coordination was okay, but the execution was just not there. So I feel like in-game execution is the most important part over anything else.
Yeah, it's true. It's so weird watching the VCS at the moment. We do have a champion select to head straight into, so let's see if they can change things up and figure something out. As a 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗺 first ban. Okay, I don't know what year we're in.
Well, 𝗬𝗺 has only played 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗺 so far in 4 games, so maybe they want to throw him off even more. They are not counting and getting Graves again, so probably preventing the jungle matchup from going to in 𝗬𝗺's favor if he gets his favorite 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗺. I can see the 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗺 ban. You're a little bit more free to ban whatever you want on blue side. The red side is more... the honest is on the red side to ban OP champs, of course, most of the time. You don't want to trade. 𝗘𝗀𝗢 is an interesting one. 𝗘𝗀𝗢 actually worked for Secret last game nicely, so I'm not sure why they are now banning the 𝗘𝗀𝗢. Maybe they want to give up the Grace and don't want Grace 𝗘𝗀𝗢 pairing. The drafts have all been a little strange. Teams have really set expectations for one side of the draft and throwing it all out when they go on the other side, which is weird to me. I'm not quite sure why this drafting matters has developed in VCS. So, yeah, let's see if that continues, and Team Secret just says, okay, Graves is only a red side thing for us, so we're just going to leave it open here. Or if they, once again, first pick the Graves here to set it up after the strong performance from DMK.
Well, Wukong is banned out, so we're not going to see a repeat of that one, but we do see an insta-lock to 𝗬𝗺𝗺. Not overall surprising if... you think about the meta, it's answered by 𝗧𝗃. Okay, 𝗧𝗃 in the first rotation.
Yeah, 𝗧𝗃 is very high priority here in the VCS. Still valued highly as a top laner too, even though most 𝗧𝗃s go to support. But now, of course, we have unlocked one of the strongest bot lanes in the game right now. Kalista 𝗧𝗃 is incredible. 𝗧𝗃 is already very hard to kill, and with Kalista, it's the strongest Pokemon Kalista has ever found on the Rift, so
yeah,
very much like this combination, and also am hyped to see another B set game. I feel like the first one he didn't get to shine too much. So let's see what he can do here. On the other side, CBL Thresh, so it's really set up for the clash of support kings.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely power picks for both bot lanes. They are both getting what they want, really. So far, neither team having to figure things out. Just sort of, here you go. Just take what you want, and they do get the Graves as well. All right.
Oh, yes.
Okie dokie. Nearly.
I was very worried about the artifact because he on stage looked like he had something going on with his heart or something. He looked very concerned. But let's hope everything is all right. And we have 𝗏𝗏𝗏 finally arriving at the VCS 2. She already was the VCS champ in spring, unbuffed. Now she's actually buffed and a very strong champion. We have one of the best 𝗏𝗏𝗏 players in the league, 𝗀 piloting the champion. I am very excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, we love watching 𝗀 on the farming junglers and him going on to the 𝗏𝗏𝗏, who is, of course, the Graves counter. Looking like a strong
𝗏𝗏𝗏
one
also,
there.
𝗏𝗏𝗏 is so fast at farming that she actually is not a farming jungler because she's ganking a lot and still farming. It's a very strange one because usually you don't really get the time to gank, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏 still ganks. And most 𝗏𝗏𝗏s play very topside focus because it's easier for 𝗏𝗏𝗏 to make something happen in the lane where only one CC or only one champ is to she only has to hit one champ. It's kind of hard to gank bot lane, especially against Thresh and the likes of Thresh. So I expect this to once again go topside focused for 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and maybe 𝗧𝗏 can bring us a good gank setup. Renekton comes to mind. He's banned, of course. So last pick top lane, that's what we like to see for EVOS.
Yeah, they're giving 𝗧𝗏 the counter pick as Orianna locked in for Parquet. A good champion. Oh, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could be a lot of fun.
I want 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏 would be very strong here for EVOS.
Potentially. But we'll have to see what is locked in for Secret. It looks like they might just default to an Aatrox. Oh, no. What are you thinking here, Secret? Artifact gets the LeBlanc. Strong matchup for sure. Orianna. Yeah, probably.
They
It's
have
a
to
very
blind pick top
coated
lane.
champ.
𝗀 is still open as well. I actually feel like 𝗀 would be great into Kalista and 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Not a lot of damage between the two of them against 𝗀, so 𝗀 can be abused though. You might be able to see a 𝗘𝗀 finally in the VCS 2. Nope, it's going to be Aatrox. Boring.
Very boring. And,
oh yes.
Oh, come on. Come on, 𝗧𝗏.
I would like Camille. I think Camille would be a little better than Fiora, honestly. But
yeah maybe.
Fiora,
but there it is. The Fiora lock-in, the best Yoshino cosplay on the Rift. And that shows, I gotta say, that does say that he is still confident. Despite the fact that he's now on a 3-game losing streak. Oh no, 2-game losing streak. 2-match losing streak as well. Wait, what am I saying? Can I just stop? He's lost 3 games.
1 and 3 so far. Yes.
He's 1 and 3, and he's been very bad in the 3.
Yeah.
Help.
This one win was not really
this one.
about him too. So 𝗧𝗏 so far very uninspiring for sure. Now his first really hard carry setup. Last pick red side, Fiora, the pure top lane counter pick with a shy special. A lot of people like to run Fiora if they want to dominate the top lane. And this one is all on 𝗧𝗏. If he fails, the team composition falls apart because Fiora is not a team fighting champ. That's why I always like Camille a little bit better, because I feel like Camille can achieve the same things Fiora can achieve, but also team fight way better. So I'm always more on the Camille side of things. Fiora is very flashy too, and side laning against Fiora in the late game is something no one wants to experience. It's not great. So will 𝗀 go up there, set 𝗧𝗏 up for a success, or will we just see 𝗧𝗏 in an isolated laning phase into 𝗀𝗀𝗏, which could lead to success too? So not too sure where EVOS wants to go here. Could just try to establish vision in the top side and isolate the top lane matchup, and really rely on your main carry player picked up in this offseason to carry you to victory. Because if 𝗧𝗏 is not able to solo carry this game, EVOS needs to be worried. Yeah.
Give it back to Garm.
Just play TH and play bot side focused.
Yeah, and I mean, you did say that it is a viable strategy to say that you think 𝗧𝗏 is a good enough laner and is better enough than 𝗀𝗀𝗏, where you don't actually put any resources into him and let him passively win. So that might be something I'd like to see, but of course, you could also send a jungler up there early and really get him ahead to see which one.
The problem is, if the
EVOS
early
does.
jungle ganks fail, you actually hurt him more. We saw this on the last game, where they set everything up for an early crash of the wave, with early slow push to get 2 waves into the turret, set up the dive, but they failed the dive. And then the slow push actually cost them in the long run, because 𝗘𝗀𝗢 got all of the farm back. He was in a very comfortable position. 𝗧𝗲 had to blow his flash to not die to the turret. If 𝗧𝗲 instead would have been ignored by his jungler, he could have set up a freeze, a better lane position maybe, and trade in a favorable spot in his lane and win the lane on his own. So I feel like jungle attention can be nice, yes, but it can also cost you a little bit. So let's see what the game plan will be in this potential final game of the week.
Yeah, it's very true. We'll have to find out as 𝗀𝗏 goes for a camp start, does take the Raptors away. 𝗏𝗏ly, of course, one of the junglers who can do that at level 1. Very strong. 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗪 just starts at his red buff. And down in the bot lane, we already have Team Secret in a bit of trouble as Celebrity has had to burn heal, exhaust out of CBL as well. And yeah, 𝗂𝗪𝗢, she's pretty strong.
Yeah, trades against 𝗘𝗩𝗢𝗦𝗄𝗧 Kalista level 1. With a champion that has no ability at level 1, probably not the smartest call. So once again, we see Kalista level 1 just running away with the laning phase. This is something that is something of a recurring theme in almost all the leagues. People just get too comfortable in lane and ignore the Kalista, and then suddenly she strikes from level 1 onwards. So now Celebrity has to play very defensively and respect 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧's capabilities. By the way, B also invested both his summoners, so there had to be some kind of a start from B's side. Maybe you get to replay to see what actually happened there.
Yeah, of course, Set doesn't really mind investing his flash. All these champions that run Hex Flash don't mind their flash being on cooldown. They can still make the big engage plays from the brush. As Artifact goes for a little bit of a trade onto Parquet. The Orianna versus LeBlanc matchup is always an interesting one. It really does feel like it comes down to how good the Orianna player is.
Yeah, Orianna is the stat checker of the two.
Oh, B. Hex flashes forward. CBL's going to take a lot of damage. He shouldn't be going down. Oh, God, that was close. But still, yeah, Kalista.
Yeah, he didn't flash. That was very bold from the CBL to not flash away there. Was very close to dying too. Let's get back to the mid lane matchup, because I agree. Watching Orianna matchups, it sounds boring, but Orianna actually is a very interesting champ to watch in laning phase. She has so many tools. She can play aggressively. She can play defensively. And I love watching good Orianna players just 1v1. There might not be time for that discussion because 𝗀𝗏 is lying in wait.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yep.
It's a clash in the jungle.
Oh, yeah. 𝗀𝗏 could get found here. In fact, he definitely has. Needs to hop over the wall. Ooh, he ends up flashing. Didn't have the W, but had to get away from 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧. So the 𝗏𝗏ly early on has that mobility taken away. It's a good situation here for Team Secret.
And the audacity for 𝗀𝗏 to straight up go to the next camp of 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧. He was very, very quickly reminded that 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧 is also a very fast jungler, so he had to disengage from the Raptors there too. So 𝗀𝗏 now, he had 1 camp advantage, and it would have been 2 if he was able to steal away those Crux. In the end, did not pay off for him. So he finally panned upwards towards the top lane, and this is to be expected somewhat. Aatrox is basically a ranged champ early on in the game and pushes in almost every melee matchup. So, there we go. This is not to say 𝗧𝗲 is already losing lane. He is not. He's collecting all the creeps. He's 1 wave ahead, in fact, in terms of CS. So, all good in the top lane.
Yeah, it's absolutely all good in the hood. 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧 comes up here just to have a peek around. We'll just fire 1 shot. Saw that the Krugs weren't there. Couldn't come and get what he came for, which was obviously a camp steal. Oh, on the bot side, 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧's in a lot of trouble. That last flamethrower shot does hit, and it's a 1 trade for Team Secret. How is this one started? It must have just been a hook landing.
Yeah, also, 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗏𝗧 did not use his rent. So that's also why the trade went this heavily in favor of Team Secret. And the reason why he didn't want to use his rent is that he got exhausted. And he saw the kill potential on Celebrity. He wanted to wait out the exhaust duration and then rent for the kill. Sadly, well played for Team Secret, you could say as well. They just disengaged and did not wait for the exhaust to wear off and then still stay in range. Instead, Celebrity just stepped away a bit and then was fine. So very nice trade and good exhaust for the side of CBL.
Yep. So something to notice that I've only just noticed is DNK changing up the runes does not have the phase rush.
No, it's actually quite common so far in VCS. We've seen a lot of Fleet Footwork Grace for some reason. I'm not sure why. I know all the Western players really favor phase rush.
Yeah, phase rush is great. The chase down is so good.
So far, we've seen a lot of Fleet Footwork on the Grace. Now Thorn will find Grace again. He has no mana and no smite, so
that is
sad
going to be
little cat.
Can't get the bird. That's good. Don't let your cats kill birds. It's not good. Down on the bot side, B playing very aggressively on the set, zoning Celebrity and CBL very far back off the wave. Obviously, they are a level up at the moment. Team Secret bot lane. Rightly
Items are actually not looking too great for the side of EVS bot lane. So they might overextend for a fight where if they can't burst Celebrity, speaking of bursting Celebrity, if they can't do that in a full-on fight, they might actually lose in the long run because he has a lot of sustained damage, especially with Flamethrower. That has 10% extra damage, of course. So risky, but I guess they definitely are now in a better position as 𝗧𝗲𝗺 gets another solo plate, will be able to reset for the Cutlass for a little bit more item parity.
Yeah, that's getting much closer to parity, but of course, Kallista's base damage is very, very high. 𝗀𝗏 going for a blue buff steal here, and DNK is nowhere close, so we'll be able to take this one away. A good little boon, make up for that Raptor camp stolen earlier.
Yeah, and he will probably get the Grump here as well. Bertha in a little bit of hurt now, but she will give over all her gold to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has kept up with Grace in the jungle. It's a weird matchup. Both are farming junglers that... Go ahead.
Sorry. Continue making your point. I'm about to say something very silly, so you go ahead.
Both the farming junglers, they have kind of weird scaling. Grace in solo queue is a very strong scaler. In pro play, you're actually able to play around Grace and then can make him kind of irrelevant in the late game. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 can scale, but under very weird conditions only. So both of these farming junglers so far haven't really made an impact on other lanes. So let's see who's the first to get the drop.
We'll have to find out. As the Rift Herald will go over Team Secret, and I was going to say, I don't know how I feel about naming jungle camps, because aren't junglers just muggers at that point? Aren't they going around and just mugging Bertha, saying, "Give me your wallet"?
I guess so. Yeah,
it's not very nice. And then she gives her the gold, and they kill her.
That's why you should play Ivern, because Ivern sets jungle camps free. So
it's true.
Just play Ivern all the time, like my mate in Clash.
But the Rift Herald was secured for Team Secret. A solo plate for 𝗏𝗏𝗏, but he has to be a little bit careful as DNK's arrived. Takes a smoke screen to the face, but he's otherwise okay. And he's doing well in that lane. He's 6 farm ahead, doing very well against the LeBlanc.
And you touched on this lane matchup and how it is quite interesting to follow. And I have to shout at 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I think he played this lane insanely well. Held Artifact or kept Artifact honest and in the lane. So prevented all the weird early game LB shenanigans. She also has CP. And nothing came of all the early game action that LB can offer. So far 𝗏𝗏𝗏 with a very strong laning phase. We also saw the trade there. Very sad LB, because she hit everything, and she even got her mastery to proc, of course, the electrocute. But 𝗏𝗏𝗏 just shielded himself and said, whatever, doesn't do anything to me. So far, very impressed with 𝗏𝗏𝗏's performance. I don't like his item choice. I know everyone is right now favoring, at least in the West, the tier build, and he's not going for it. But there we have the first objective.
Ooh, the Rift Herald will get a charge. Celebrity with the chakrams. They need to do something about this one, but the tower stays alive. Ooh, a hook lands. Do they want to go on it? 𝗀𝗏 gets exhausted, has to hop away, but in comes B. The man, look how far forward he is. He shows up as well. I think he regrets it. He does a lot of damage on the Celebrity, but he's gone. B. He's cosplaying Set in real life. He's never
Absolutely.
stopped.
He just kept running at them and then ulted even farther away from his team. Maybe that was a little foolish. And now he gives up the first advantage. Well, Set can make you do stuff like that because he's a very cool champ to play. You get very hyped. You have so much shield. You can throw people around. You can run so fast at them. Oh, is there a solo kill potentially in the mid lane?
Potentially.
No, close.
Drink your pots, kids. Artifact living by the hair on his chinny chin chin. Oh boy.
Absolutely. So, well, that was a very nice sequence of plays for Team Secret. They finally get a kill on their snowball-heavy assassin in the mid lane that has been failing to do anything so far in the game. So, good start for the side of Artifact. And on the other side, though, 𝗀𝗀𝗄𝗃 with a bounty only from farming and first item already completed. So, strong Orianna. 𝗀𝗏. Nicely done. 𝗀𝗏 played that perfectly.
I think I chose a very bad time to wipe something from my eye because I missed it. As 𝗀𝗏 goes in now, CBL looking low, but flashes away. Spear won't land.
So what 𝗀𝗏 did there, oh, no, maybe I'll come back to that because now it's a very dangerous dive approaching. 𝗀𝗃 is sprinting
trying to push the wave up. As they are definitely looking for the dub. 𝗧𝗏 needs to be careful, throws the grand challenge, but he's just going to die. That was so unnecessary, and now they're trying to go on to CBL, but artifacts arrive. Big shield for B, but he's caught up by the chain, and EVOS is not executing well at all. You said it, and I'm going to repeat it. The individual execution needs to come up.
Yeah, once again, the same story is still true with EVOS. Their ideas are good, their execution is not. And this time around, once again, 𝗧𝗏's too over-eager. He underestimated the early crit damage from the side of Celebrity, who, to be fair, also very lucky on the last crit there. 𝗧𝗏 would have been able to live if not for the 222 damage crit. And now 𝗀𝗃𝗃, way too far forward.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 has to get away, but here comes the shutdown. 𝗪𝗓 arrives from the side and says, haha, me go 1-for-1. As DNK will get that kill, but 𝗀𝗏 arrives. In comes the cat. They get two. They're turning it around. Celebrity, though, lands the mark and makes sure he does not go down alone. And Jesus Christ, the top lane is a graveyard. Can we look at how many corpses are on the floor?
No.
It's the elephant graveyard from the Lion King. And Simba, you must never go there.
Indeed. A little bit of a clown fiesta for maybe our last game of the day. Maybe not, who knows. But this one was interesting. An overstep for EVOS' side to dive. And then Team Secret chased them way too far into the turret. The first kill for EVOS actually happened when I think CBL tanked the tower for too long. Let's see this. Artifact. Yeah, 𝗧𝗏𝗺. Okay, 𝗧𝗏𝗺 executed him with the last hit there. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 now is also a little bit too far forward, so he dies to DNK. And now 𝗀𝗏. This was so unfortunate for DNK. The timing almost there for him to not get hit by the spear. Also another lucky crit for the 20% crit chance. 𝗂𝗏lius. Celebrity so far has been a very good ADC, getting the crits when he needs them. But now it's 5-4, and EVOS is back in the gold lead.
Yeah, somehow.
What a crazy game this has been.
What is going on? This is insane.
Feel like it's time to spam G2 meme in chat. I believe I have.
Oh, a hook lands. Nope.
Have something added there. The what is going on meme. But what is going on is a very, very valid question. EVOS is now.
I don't really know the answer.
𝗧𝗏 needs some more time to scale, of course, but on the other side, you don't really want to scale with 𝗧𝗏𝗺, who's now on a very strong point in terms of items. So same goes for 𝗀𝗃𝗃. So Will they force a fight here, or will they just wait and give their side laners a little bit more time to scale up? It's a difficult decision to make, and champions feel very differently about the state of the game, as 𝗧𝗲𝗺 is on top of the world right now on these item breakpoints. So he wants to fight right here, right now.
That he does, and it is not something Team Secret wants to be opting into at the moment, as 𝗀𝗪𝗢 just manages to not get hit by the spear. 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗦 spawns and is immediately challenged by Team Secret, but EVOS looks like they want to take this one to a fight. Will they be able to get there in time? They will. 𝗀𝗏 leading the charge. Teleport is called. They really want to challenge this one. DNK's tagged up with the spear. Showstopper comes in, and it is EVOS that get the 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗦. And now 𝗀𝗪𝗢 with the grand challenge, but it doesn't matter because all the kills are going Team Secret's way. They're guarding the eye, and was it worth it to give up 2 kills to deny a second Rift Herald? A little bit questionable, EVOS. And their bot lane paid the price.
That they did. I want to see what happened to the shockwave. Did it just not deal any damage? Oh,
it only hit one. It got flashed by yeah, it got flashed. Ooh.
𝗧𝗲𝗺 also tried to team fight on one item, or not even one item, 𝗃𝗧𝗧, and accordingly, nothing happened from the top lane. While on the other side, we have one item, 𝗃𝗧𝗏, who is definitely ready to team fight. I know a lot of people meme on 𝗃𝗧𝗏, but he's a decent team fighter. Maybe not the strongest. He's kind of a jack of all trade, master of none, which is why he gets so much criticism when picked. But that's also why he's such a favorite pick of all the pros, because you can't really go wrong with 𝗃𝗧𝗏. He's a decent team fighter. He's good in lane. He scales okay. He's not super great in the late game, but he's also not super bad. So yeah, once again, we saw 𝗃𝗧𝗏 having a little bit more impact in team fights than early 𝗃𝗧𝗏.
Yeah, in early team fights in 𝗃𝗧𝗏, you'd hope team fights for basically ever. Interesting, to say the least. So, now that we do have a break in the action, what are we looking at? Who are the carries and who needs to step up to get their team over the line?
Celebrity with his very lucky crits is now in a very good position to carry his team. He is protected by 𝗃𝗏, one of the best combinations in the game. He has a lot of weird frontline champs he doesn't really care about. They just will annoy the enemies while he clears up everyone that is still alive. So it's a very good setup for Celebrity to carry. I think we have to focus on him mostly in terms of items. While on the other side, it's a little bit more divided. They don't really have a traditional teamfight composition, as we said before with the 𝗃𝗧𝗏 pick. Everyone can deal damage, and it's more about target access and target calling, so they have to be more creative. It's much more standard for the side of Team Secret.
It is much more standard. And we have to see if this 𝗃𝗏𝗺 can be kept alive in fights. Does have an item and a half. 𝗃𝗧𝗏 pushes in this wave. And does get the tower. 𝗀𝗪𝗢 in a lot of trouble. Pops the wings. He's quick, but he gets show stopped. Is there a face breaker? Yes, there is. And I think 𝗀𝗪𝗢 will be going down. 𝗃𝗧𝗏 gets the kill. Has time to hit the second
tower.
Look
at mid lane.
Mid lane, it could be traded, but the wave is dead. I think 𝗁𝗂𝗎's done enough.
Yep, good defensive posturing there for the side of EVOS. And, of course, one kill finally over to 𝗃𝗧𝗏, who's now on almost 200 CS as well. Finished his cull. He's scaling up, and the side lane will be a little bit more scary. And 𝗀𝗪𝗢, how long can 𝗀𝗪𝗢 live in the 1v1 situation? Probably still like 1.5 items for 𝗃𝗧𝗏 needed for it to be able to dive the 𝗃𝗧𝗏. But it's
hard to ever dive an 𝗃𝗧𝗏. You just so much outplay potential out of an 𝗃𝗧𝗏.
It's very slow, so pretty easy for 𝗃𝗧𝗏 to see the skill shot coming, or the W, or even a Q coming, and then stun 𝗃𝗧𝗏, which then results in him being pretty much dead immediately. So I feel like 𝗃𝗧𝗏 will get to a point where it is possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's just risky.
That's for sure.
That's what you really want to be doing.
So we have a little bit of a lead now for EVOS. They are behind in Dragons, and Dragons is something Team Secret can play around. They have the better team fighting composition, so just playing around the Ocean Soul win condition is very easy. I hope they can acknowledge this path to victory as well, and then try to make the game about Baron and Elder Dragon later on.
That was weird. DNK had a very easy steal on the blue buff and just didn't do it. Got it down to 800 health and then walked away.
It's on blue buff, so maybe you wanted to hand it over to
Art. Yeah, I can.
No worries.
It's been a long week. As Parquet does get caught out, takes the graviton. Oh, and it's a sub. Get your maracas and your sombreros because that shockwave hit nothing.
Oh no.
Hi, yeah, the stream's dead. Get it back up, please. Oh, we're back. Hello, friends.
Hello?
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. Just a hiccup of an internet connection, but it is a Drake being started by Team Secret. This would put them up to Ocean Soul Point. Down to 2,500. Oh, it's resetting, so the health bar's coming back. Artifact dives in, does a lot of damage, but gets out. Collateral damage onto 3, and it's down to 900. It's secured. Team Secret now just need one more. 5 minutes time, they will be able to contest an Ocean Soul. And it's getting harder and harder for EVOS to get anything done. They have a gold lead, but the scaling is beginning to become an issue.
Yeah, indeed. 2 items on Aphelios are worth so much more than 2 items on Kalista, so there is a small little gold lead, but it's kind of outweighed by the fact that team fight scaling and just scaling in general for most of the champs, not all of the champs, there's some scaling advantages the other way around as well, but I still feel like Team Secret is in a winning position here, so it has to come from 𝗧𝗲 carrying, because he is the one big win condition in the side lane. 2 items now completed. He's sitting on the heal reduction as well, so he can threaten a little bit of a kill there on Coated. And if he's able to get an inhibitor before the next dragon spawns, that should be an easy capture for EVOS this time around.
You would think so, as they do make a move over towards the mid lane.
Let's take a look at the gold totals. Celebrity 500 gold ahead, that's big. Mid laners are dead even. And there's a big lead in the top lane. So that are the big breaking points. But Celebrity almost on 10k gold. Once he hits 12, 13k, even Fiora will probably not be able to do anything against him anymore. He's already sitting on 75% crit chance. So once he gets Death Stance and the completed probably Rapid Fire Cannon or Phantom Dancer, then he's really going to activate his 200 years power spike. But speaking of
200 years, there's chakrams stacked up, and EVOS is already too late to the party as in go the chakrams. The white gun is so overpowered, and down goes Baron. Baron must get confused because he sees Aphelios coming and goes, "Oh, what color are your guns?" And then 3 seconds later he goes, "Oh, they're both gray."
Oh man, poor Baron. Normally, you do everything for your ADC to not tank Baron, to not get the debuff and do full damage to Baron. But who cares for Aphelios? Full damage for Aphelios would be Baron dies in 1 second. So you can afford to let him tank the Baron because all the chakrams still get him up to like 3 times the damage he should be dealing. And now they equal they are even in gold. They have the Baron buff, so fights are not. They can't really lose fights right now. Next dragon will spawn in 2 minutes and 12 seconds, so slightly after the Baron buff wears off. It would be best for Team Secret to plan a team fight to take place 30 seconds before the Ocean Soul spawns, so they can still fight with the added Baron stats. They'll get overlooked quite a bit. Baron still gives you like 40 AD and 60 AP at this point, so it's actually quite a big combat buff as well.
Yeah, It is. It's pretty legit. So, until the ocean spawns, what can Team Secret do with this Baron buff? Do they have enough priority to really start shredding towers as they push the bot lane in?
Like one. Oh wow, that was a lot of damage from Swan. I didn't think he would be able to kill the big creep there. So that's very nice. He delayed the push for a long while. And the play for EVOS here is to be very, very careful. To be very. They know the timers as well. They know they can't die before the Ocean Soul spawns. So do everything possible to prevent turrets from falling. But if you lose 1 or 2 outer turrets, it's not the end of the game. You will still be close in gold. So please don't die. Everything you want is not die right now, because if you die in the next minute, Ocean Soul will be gone. The game will be over.
Yep, it's very, very true. And it's going to be tricky. We haven't really seen the Fiora from 𝗧𝗲 have much of an impact. He has a big lead over 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗺, but it hasn't mattered at all. So 𝗧𝗲, he's not feeding this game, but he's still not being the big carry we expected. And Artifact is just pushing the base by himself on this LeBlanc. Has teleport were a fight to break out, but should be able to crack this one open and pushed onto the inhibitor if he wants to, and he certainly does. This is looking very good for Team Secret.
This is he looked at the Cerberus game and took a page out of the Viados playbook on the Twisted Fate, and now everyone is running. Wait, Ocean Soul is spawning, guys.
Look at this. They're on the Nexus towers. They have to go back. It's Ocean Soul or your Nexus. They're giving them Dante's choice. Which one do you want? Do you want to stay in the game, or do you want to give up an Ocean Soul? And there's only one choice to be made. Team Secret have the secret strat coded will be sacrificed for this power. But it doesn't matter. Ocean secured, and Team Secret, you said, and I quote, they look like the worst team in the league. But that play looked pretty damn good.
That play was very nice. Very good to see them also step up their macro. And yeah, I agree. That was very smart. Just hard commit to the top side and force everyone to back away. Very easy Ocean Soul secure. There wasn't even a fight, even though EVOS prepped everything for the one important fight about Ocean Soul. Team Secret told them, if you want to fight, you will just lose the game immediately. So they had to give up the Ocean Soul. And there's only one heal reduction item so far for EVOS. They are already in a position where their team composition shouldn't be able to win. So this is now all looking like a Team Secret 2-0 today against EVOS. Very surprisingly so.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like it. Oh boy. Pengaro, eat your heart out. This has not been a good start to your first split. Working for EVOS. Sorry, mate. You got to produce another losing graphic. But, oh well. Team Secret bounce back after a very rough first series, and it's going to be hard for them to lose this one. And Aphelios with Ocean Soul. Oh no.
Oh no. Indeed.
Oh no.
Even worse, I think, is 𝗃, the Ocean Soul. The champ already heals for way too much, and now it heals on top of that too. So might even not matter if you get a heal reduction on him. He might still have the normal 𝗃 healing levels that are pretty disgusting. So I feel like for 𝗃, this is a dream scenario. And there's another turret going down. Gold is very... Oh, okay.
That was B. Yeah, he's dead. He just
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
And there we have...
Where did Seth go?
We have the white gun ready, and he's not using ammo right now for the white gun, which is important to track, because there's a Baron spawning in 20 seconds, so...
That there is.
This could be another Baron to close out the game. Of course, top lane inhibitor is already secured, and they are definitely heading towards Baron. It's slow. They want to clear the vision, which is fine. But they will lose at least one turret in the bot lane. So now they...
Does 𝗧𝗲 just get pushing? No, Artifact will answer him. So.
Artifact is there. And Artifact is hard to deal with for 𝗧𝗲, because of course Ocean Soul also gives you mana, so he can spam his heart out. And
and there it is. Big shockwave. landing onto everyone, but look at the Ocean Soul. It doesn't even matter. Look at all the healing coming in, and Sorn threw himself in to try and steal the Baron buff away, but did not succeed. He got sent to the Death Chamber, and it will be Team Secret walking this one in. EVOS, well, 𝗧𝗲𝗺, he's having a bit of fun here with 𝗧𝗲𝗺, but 𝗧𝗲𝗺 is just kind of walking away and delaying the back because they're just trying to end the game. Let's have a look at the base. Celebrity pushing it in. It is B to charge out to kind of get it done. But with the turret falling, EVOS, the projected strongest team in the league, we thought, and we still think, they might win this split, but they go 0-2 in the first week, losing both of their series.
For a comeback also for Team Secret, who started looking so bad in the first series, out of sorts against 𝗧𝗲𝗺, who, to be honest, has definitely looked like one of the best teams here. So maybe it's just 𝗧𝗲𝗺 stomping on them because they are the best team. Who knows? Strength of all the teams is not known yet, but Team Secret definitely stepped up big time today. 2-0 over EVOS, and they are back in playoff contention while EVOS falls down to last place, shared with Flash. Who would have thought? Flash and EVOS, the projected 1 and 2 teams from our league, are now 0-2 in series after the first week.
So we need to decide an MVP for Game 2, and you need to tell our producer who you want for player of the series, but you need to do that in the Discord chat. But MVP for Game 2, 𝗧𝗺𝗺 looked really good on the LeBlanc, but I don't know if his lane was good enough to justify it. Who are you thinking for MVP Game 2?
It's very hard to decide.
It was a team effort, really. It really was all of them. DNK was good.
I guess the ADC, because it's team fight based.
Yeah, probably.
It's really not one outstanding player for me, so I guess it's the ADC for dealing all the damage and positioning
Celebrity,
well.
then.
Yeah,
We'll
good
Celebrity.
gun management as well.
Yeah, but as I said, it was, as we've both said, in fact, it was definitely a team effort. Celebrity just kind of ended up being the focal point, so he gets MVP. And if any moment, I'm sure, player of the series is going to be DNK, though. He had a fantastic performance in Game 1 and carried it with a good performance in Game 2. He made the Graves look viable. Would you love to see? And that will be Team Secret picking up their win. They go 1-1. Not a good start to the split, but not as bad as we might have thought it would be. And that brings us to the end of the first week of the VCS Summer Split.
So I'm very excited for in the next week. We will see more of our projected bottom 2 teams who actually started very strong, especially %. It's very exciting to me. And the first 2 days will feature 2 games of % and OPG. And those are the ones I'm looking forward to the most, which is very surprising to me to say, because I was pretty down on them. I thought, okay, they might be exciting for a bottom tier team, but still in the end will end up inting aren't feeding all the other teams a little bit too much. But after seeing % demolish, who was it? Flash. Yeah, Flash in the first series. I feel like I want to see more of them. I know 𝗀𝗎 is one of the really high players, and I want to follow him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know our mate Vinnie loves some glory. But with that, I believe we will be ending it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We hope you enjoyed these 3 days. If you do have any feedback, let us know. If you go below the stream, there's a Discord server. You can tell us what you liked about the stream, what you didn't like. We're trying some new setup stuff. I know people hate that we can only do 720p. If you'd like to fix that, there's a donate button below the stream as well, because computers are expensive and we can't afford a new one. We'd love to do 1080p, but we can't. So if you'd like to help out, donations are really appreciated, but never, ever feel pressured. We'll do this anyway. We'll see you guys next week for more VCS action, though. My name's been Everyday. With me has been Yulwei. And do you have any parting comments before we head off?
Just one really big shout out and thank you to Spoods, of course, who did production for all 3 days for the first week. Thanks again. And yeah, see you all next week. So VCS is finally back and we can all enjoy this very competitive split together.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys next Friday. We hope you're here with us every day next week. See you guys.
I need to find a better way to type while we're in game. I guess I'll open up the Discord on my phone or something.
Yeah.